Hey, folks, welcome to another edition of Money Across America. My name is Garry Thurman, your host, and I am so honored and privileged every single week to be sitting down with some of my best friends who are financial advisors all across this beautiful country of ours. And I'm honored today. This guy, now this is going to be a fun show. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, because me and this guy are a lot alike. We think a lot alike, and he's been a mentor for me for the last few years and really it's kind of taken me under his wing, so to speak. And I love his story. I love everything he's about. What I love most about Mark Henry is his passion, because he's got more passion to help people than anybody I've ever met. And I'm honored today to have my friend Mark Henry on the set. Mark, what's going on, buddy?
Man, good to see you, Gary, and thanks for those compliments. I don't know about the mentoring side. I think we're more like a partnership because I feel like I get as much from you as I've ever been able to give. And
That makes my head swell just a little bit,
yeah,
to be honest with you.
well, it's how you grow, though. It's funny because so many people in our profession, especially, but I think it's the same even in the doctor world or stuff, lawyers, where they get to a place and like they don't think they need to talk to others because they're doing the grind, they're doing the work. But I learned so much. And by talking to other people, my peers, the people that are doing better than me and not as good at this, because they all bring something to the table that I can take back to my clients, to my employees, to my partners, the people I work with, and we can all get better together.
That's right. That's right. You just reminded me of a conversation that Rhonda and I had because, we talked about these.
Love Rhonda.
We are so blessed to go on some great trips together, Mark.
Yeah,
And
we are.
what's amazing, though, when we go on these trips is how much communication we're able to have because we're not in the office. We're not stressed out about
Right.
work. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And we learn. So these trips are beautiful. They're great.
Yeah. That's how we get better, though.
Learn from each other in a casual setting.
It is. And that's where I think when I compare what we do to others and stuff, so many people just are afraid to talk about that like there's some secret.
Yeah.
And if I've learned anything in my life is there's not any secrets.
No.
There's 1,000 ways to do something and you can always be better. And that's what we strive to do because, when I grow and get better learning from you, when you learn from me, the ultimate beneficiary is our clients,
That's it. That's
the ones
it.
we currently have and the ones we're going to have. And that's
Yeah.
what we're all about is trying to serve them better. And we do that through learning from others. So again, I'm honored to be on your show. This is an amazing podcast. And when you called and asked me if I'd be on it, I jumped.
Wow.
Appointment was you put a few pretty good people on here before me. I was like, oh man. And great people. I've watched several episodes and they've really been good. So again, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Mark, the first question I like to always jump into. So,
Yeah.
you got Greenville, South Carolina, Charleston, North Carolina, Mint Hill, North Carolina.
Yeah.
You're covering a lot of spaces right now over in the Carolinas, which I love. What trend are you seeing? Or people are coming into your office and working with you and your advisors every single day. What's the kind of trend that you're seeing with folks that are walking in your door today?
Well, there's the things we've always dealt with for 17 years. I've been doing this, 16. The fear. So there's always fear. But really, take all that away. What I'm seeing more today than ever before is this question that people are asking about when is it going to go back to normal?
Yeah.
When do or even sometimes some polarization or some procrastination about moving and changing what they're doing, even though they're ready to do it. They say, well, I just want to wait until it gets a little more normal.
Right.
And, I don't know your opinion on that. We haven't discussed this, which is really what I love about the show because we didn't sit here and plan it and they'll have a script or anything. And that's not how life works. What do they say? When you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, and so,
That's right.
we're both planners, but I think sometimes that's how you do it. But this idea on this normalcy, it's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's not ever coming back.
Right.
The world changed. We don't have to like some of the changes, but we have to understand it's like you squirted the toothpaste out of the tube, and I don't know if you've ever tried, but you can't get it back in.
No, I've never tried that. I don't think I'm going through.
I'm just telling you, you're not getting the back of the tube. And this world has changed on us, Gary.
Yeah.
And so what happens is sometimes, especially in the environment we find ourselves in right now, it's hard to make this decision to make a change because it seems so unstable.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that polarization leaves people vulnerable to the inevitable.
Yeah.
And then they're forced to make a change.
Yeah. I mean, are you seeing because of the new election, the new administration, taxes, inflation?
All of it.
I mean, I understand why people are upset. I understand why people are nervous right now, Mark. This change that we're talking about, the normal is gone. That's scary if you're entering retirement.
It is. But the idea is when I think of my current clients now, they don't like a lot of the things politically that's going on, or they love a lot of the things politically that's going on. Maybe that's a better way to say it, because I really do. But there's still uncertainty. Like, just jump into this idea that, we're not going to pay tax on Social Security now. Oh, it's fabulous. I'm so excited, so excited. Yeah, wait a minute. Not so fast. I'm that nerd that likes to read into the details.
Yeah.
And so did we really get no tax on Social Security? Well, no, not really. We got a $6,000
credit
tax deduction.
Yeah.
Well, did we really get that? Well, not so fast. Maybe most people got it, Gary. But did everybody get it? That depends on your income.
Income levels.
Right.
It's
Okay.
50,000 individual, 100,000 a couple, correct?
Right. But that's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be no tax on Social Security.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And so, well, don't it get so fast? It actually runs out in 28.
Which is, you know what? I love that you just said that, because it does run out in 2028. One of the things I do like about the big, beautiful bill that just got passed, Mark, was it looks like that we're going to have lower taxes for the next several years.
Yes.
We're in the third lowest tax bracket we've ever been in right now.
That's right.
Now, historically, for the next few years, why are so many people worried about doing Roth conversions? Why? I mean, it just makes sense right now. Don't you agree?
We're in one of the greatest tax windows in history, in my opinion. And so I literally talked to a group this week about that. I was speaking at an engagement. You do that all around the Chattanooga area and everywhere. I understand you're expanding. I heard you going into up there where my mom used to live, Maryville. You're to be Knoxville, right around the corner, right?
It's God country, brother. Big old.
Boy, it is. Listen, my mom lived up there in Maryville for, I don't know, last 16, 17 years of her life, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. Yeah, really good people. So good for you in that growth. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter where you're at. Taxes are on sale right now. And we can show you in history why that's true.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is, I remember last year I was working with one of my current clients, and he wanted to do a larger Roth conversion than I wanted to do. Now, keep in mind, whose money is it, Gary? Is it my money we're talking about? No.
Nope.
It doesn't belong to me. It's his money. Okay. I think a lot of advisors get that wrong. I know you don't, but I think a lot of times they do. So I'm an advisor. My job is to advise, to recommend, to lay out paths. And if I'm doing my job, one of the things I would be doing then would be what? Advising on Roth conversions for certain people, not for everybody. Everybody doesn't need to do them.
Nope.
But this gentleman certainly does. Very high net worth. And again, like most people listening right now, watching, they got 80%, 85, 90% of their money in the alphabet soup of accounts, 403s, TSP, 401, IRA, whatever it is. So he found himself like that. He was very worried last year about the direction the election could go.
Okay.
And so he was wanting to do a much larger conversion than I was recommending.
Right.
So we had several in-person meetings about it, and I just couldn't get my mind around giving that much money to the government at one time.
Right.
Not my money, it's his.
That's right.
But I couldn't get my mind around it. But he couldn't get his mind around the election might not go the way he wanted it to go.
Yep.
And taxes could go way higher, and then he's got an even bigger problem, or better yet said, he actually likes his kids, and they have a much bigger problem because they're going to get a lot of this.
That's right.
So we came together and we made a decision, and he and I, I raised, he lowered, whatever, and we compromised. And again, it's not my money, but I was just trying to help him make a good decision. Well, now he says, oh, you were right. I was not right. I didn't know which way the election was going to go, and nobody did.
No.
But we made a decision. We got a bunch more in the Roth. But here's the question you're really asking. When people have this idea or this fear or this unknown, what they're really asking is, why didn't their current big box planner, retail person, bank, whoever they're working with, why didn't they talk to them about the Roth conversion?
Right.
The reason they have skepticism, and I don't even know if it's skepticism, the reason they have sometimes reluctancy is because they've been working with somebody for 15 years that they trust.
Yeah.
And now the new person, they've decided to join Garry for all the right reasons. And now, first year in, you're recommending this Roth conversions. I'm sure you're doing them around September, October, because when you get into November, we're starting to get too late. Many people don't realize that.
Right.
But now it's like, hold on. I want you to think of it this way. How could it possibly be bad, even if taxes never go up again?
Mm.
Now, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
We go ahead and convert, but it turns out taxes never go up. And I'm telling you, $38 trillion in debt, they're going to go up. I don't care who's president. At some point, they're going up. They're going up. But let's say I'm wrong. Okay. All you did is position your money into a tax-free account, paying taxes at a rate that doesn't change.
Right.
However, when you pass, you just gave your kids a gift without a string attached.
I love how you just said that, a gift without a string attached, because it's not when you're going to pay Uncle Sam,
He's getting paid.
IRA going away. I mean, if your spouse gets your money, you're fine.
Right.
But once she passes or he passes, then children take that money. Mark, they got to take all that money out in 10 years.
It's happening.
And that's why our Roth conversion is huge right now.
And think about it, was like 1 or 2 votes. It would have been 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know what the next administration or the one after that's going to do, where they say, or if it's over 500,000, it's 5 years.
Yeah. It's funny. I was interviewing one of our friends, and he said something like the fact of the IRS, I owe you. And it's perfectly clear. Like, you made a deal with Uncle Sam. I'm not going to pay you now. I'm going to pay you later. Well, guess what? If you have the right timing and you are a good fit, right now is the perfect time.
There's no question about it.
Taxes on the seeds versus that big harvest of money down the road.
So, Garry, what's your opinion on this idea of why the people that I go poach from these big box firms, they come join us and they come join you? You go hire the very best and brightest to work with you. And by and large, they all come from one of the ABC brands that's on every corner.
Yep.
And they all hold the same license.
Yep.
Or they get it to work with you, which is the Series 65 fiduciary license. To my knowledge, you don't employ a stockbroker, correct?
That's correct.
You're employing Series 65, the big boy license. Same as me. Okay. So these people know how to do Roth conversions when they're at the bank, when they're at the big box retailer.
Right.
We hire them, and now they start doing them. But when you ask them, well, when you were working at ABC firm, I won't bring up a name.
Right.
But when you were working at ABC, did you do Roth conversion? What is without a doubt 100% consistency? Their answer: no.
No. Not even come up.
They couldn't do it. And why? Because they were not allowed to.
They were not allowed to, and I don't think they wanted to take the chunk of money in that IRA that they were getting fees off of as well. You know, I mean, so I think there's hard there.
The good ones did, but the company won't. And you just answered the question, why? If you want to know if you're working with the right firm, one of the easiest questions to answer is this. Last year, around October, did they pick up the phone and call you? And I would have called Garry and said, hey, Garry, how you doing, bud? Garry said, Mark, I'm doing great. You on the golf course, Garry? I know Garry likes golf, right? And Garry says, no, I'm good. Well, you got a second? Sure. Well, Garry, you've had a heck of a year. Need you to come on down here and take the challenge. The challenge What challenge is that? We got to do the Roth conversion challenge. Let's see how much of those gains in that 401 we're managing, the IRA, the TSP, whatever it is. Let's see how much of that money you've made this year we can take out and put it in a Roth and never pay tax on again. Let's talk about it. You ready? Come on down here.
Yeah.
Why did you, the people watching right now, why did you not get that phone call? Gary, you told them. Because let's say they're being paid to manage $1 million.
Yeah.
They come down to your office, they sit with you, and y'all discuss, hey, we can move 100,000 out, and we can keep you in a 20% tax bracket. That's
So
20 cents on the dollar.
You didn't change your tax bracket at all.
No. We can keep you in a 20% tax bracket while moving 100,000 out in this example.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I think 20 cents on the dollar is not bad compared to where tax rates have been.
That's right.
Correct?
That's right.
Okay.
And then we think they're going to go in the future.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, let's do it. Great. Well, here's what just happened. You were being paid to manage $1 million in this IRA. Tomorrow, you take 100 out, move it to the Roth. Well, you didn't move it all because 20,000 you had to send to your favorite uncle.
That's right.
So now you're being paid to manage 900 in the IRA and 80,000 in the Roth.
That's it.
You just took a pay cut.
Yeah, sure did.
Why do you do that every year? I know why. Because it's the right thing to do.
That's right. It's a fiduciary thing to do.
It's exactly why you hold the license you do. However, my fiduciary advisors, when they worked at those big box firms, were told, no, you cannot talk about taxes. You cannot do it because there would have been a shareholder revolt on cutting fees if they did that for every single client they have that deserved to have it done.
Yeah, I love it. So here's a word I'm going to say to you. And Mark, this is something you did teach me, mentor me on, is planning. So when somebody's at these big brokers firms, all they talk about is growth. And guess what? Growth is a beautiful thing.
Yes, that is.
Obviously about your taxes, your legacy benefits, your health care, your long-term care, your Medicare. They're not. And that's what makes us different. We're really doing a plan design for you, a written income plan, a written healthcare plan, so you can go to sleep and not worry. I mean, I know you're seeing that over in the Carolinas.
100%. 100%. We have, and again, I'm a Wall Street money manager. You know how much I love Wall Street. I love it. And it's truthfully where I make my most money.
Yeah.
Because I get reoccurring revenue. It's the truth. Nothing wrong with that. I'm a profitable business for profit.
Yes,
Nothing wrong with that.
You mean there's not a red cross above your front door?
No, there's not. There's nothing wrong with for-profit businesses when they provide the value that the clients deserve. It's all about serving the clients and providing that value. So here's the deal. I want you to think about it this way. Wall Street has lied to everyone, unfortunately. They've tried to convince you when you ask someone, do you have you're 5 years out from retirement? Do you have a plan? Oh, yeah, I got one. Yep. Good for you. But Gary, when they come in to see you, do they bring that plan with them?
No, because they don't have one.
But they think they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Because they've been lied by Wall Street, by every big box firm in the country to believe that thing they mail you once a month, once a quarter, however you get it, you download it online, is a retirement plan.
Oh.
And I don't know how many you've looked at in your career, but I think I've probably looked at least thousands. And I've yet to see one that tells Mark Henry how much money I can spend every month after taxation, adjusted for inflation, and not run out of money around 90 or 95.
That's right.
That's a statement I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see that too, because I had a guy in here not too long ago, Mark, and I love telling this story because he had over $1 million in his 401k. He was retiring.
Did well.
He did great, but he walked in with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, which was great for me. He pushed his paperwork aside and said, look, I've got $1 million in my 401k. Why do I need you? And I kind of smiled and said, well, first of all, you don't have $1 million. He goes, no, I do. It's right here. You see the paperwork. Yeah, but you haven't paid any taxes on this. Right. And I promise you, Uncle Sam's going to want his part. which was kind of an eye opener for him. I think it was just I don't want to say lack of education, but he just didn't realize he'd been putting all this money back, getting the tax deductions. Oh, by the way, you got to pay taxes on this money when you pull it out now.
That's right.
And so we got into the conversation about income planning. And I know this is something you're so high up on. This is a radar thing right here. But this is the number one fear in America is running out of money, hands down. Longevity risk is real. What is your favorite way to do income planning for your clients so they never have to worry about income throughout retirement?
Well, let's talk about income for a second. So I want the people watching right now or listening to actually hear me when I say this, Gary. If I asked you, Gary, have you ever had your dream job? Well, I know the answer because you're currently doing it right this
Right
minute.
now. Yeah.
And I'm currently doing my dream job. I'm at a place in life, Gary, where, I'm not what I would call wealthy or anything, but I'm fine.
Right.
And if I didn't wake up today wanting to do this with you, wanting to go serve my clients, I worked last night. I spoke at an engagement till 9 o'clock, got home about 11. I wouldn't be doing it. I'm doing it today because I truly am passionate about it. And I honestly hope this passion lasts well into my 80s. I envision being a grumpy old man one day. Maybe I can get wealthy enough to have a driver and they could drive me to my offices and they could look out the mirror and go, oh, he's here, clean up, here he comes. I want to go in there and bark a few orders, get in the car, and go to the next one. But anyway, I am doing what I want to do. But I want the audience right now to think of it this way. Have you ever had your dream job? So for those of you that have, I want you to remember the interview process. You're applying for this dream job. You want it so bad. You're going home and talking to your wife or your husband about it. Hey, they called me back. They want me back again. I may actually get this. The giddiness you felt, the happiness, the hopeful, the opportunity, all this passion you had for hopefully getting this job. So they interviewed you 5 times, 6 times, 3 times, whatever. And they finally said, Gary, we've selected you out of the 5,000 candidates, out of the 3 candidates. We've selected you. You got the job. And Gary's like, oh, my God, thank you. When do I start, Mark? When do I start? Hey, we want you to start next week. If you can. I can. Fabulous. I can't wait to tell Rhonda you're saying, right? Can't wait. I'm so excited. Hey, Mark, what do I get paid? Gary, don't worry about it. You're going to be fine, bud. You're going to be fine. Yeah, that's good, Mark. That's good. But what do I get paid? I mean, I got to tell Rhonda something. Hey, I already met Rhonda. Tell her you're going to be fine. Would you take that job?
No. 100% no.
Okay, you watching right now. I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying, but would you take that job? This is your dream job. You want it. But when they cover the pay, they say you're going to be fine. Okay, well, let me ask you a question, Gary. Why are millions of people around the United States and truthfully all over the world taking their next job called retirement with no idea how they're going to get paid?
No clue.
Who would start a job that you talk about a dream job? That's what living large is. Living large is going into retirement and living large, doing what you want to do to enrich your lives and the lives of others and those around you to the best of what you've been blessed with. That's living large. Who would take that job that may last 20, 25, 30 years with no idea how you're going to be paid, and the person you're working with just said, hey, I want to retire, can I? And they said, hey, Gary, you're going to be just fine.
You'll be fine.
That's exactly what the big box retailers tell people every day. I'm looking at your statement. Gary, you're going to be fine. What do we do? When I go home and talk to Terry and I say, hey, Terry, how are you? I'm fine, Mark. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, what did I not do? Or what did I do? Right? Is it different? Is it different at your house?
No, sir.
So think about this. Why do people take a retirement job with no idea of how they're going to get paid?
Right.
And some of you watching right now go, well, Mark, I have an idea. You're wrong. I have an idea. I've got dividend-paying stocks. Good for you, because I love dividend-paying stocks. How about you, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about Walgreens? 94-year-old company that for the first time in 94 years is not paying dividends. I didn't say I didn't like dividend stocks. I just said dividend stocks are not a paycheck.
That's right. They're not a guaranteed paycheck.
That's correct. Period.
What we do.
I've got a great real estate portfolio. Good for you. I love real estate. I think real estate's a great asset class to have that many people miss out on.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's not a paycheck, not a guaranteed paycheck.
That's right.
And that's reality. To me, one of our good friends, you know him very well, but he said the outcome is the income.
That's right.
Or the income is going to be your outcome. Think of this, how easy life could be if you knew you needed $7,000 a month to live on, and Social Security paid you $3,000, and you had a guaranteed paycheck that could never run out for the rest of your life, a pension that paid you $4,000.
That's right.
So now $7,000 a month comes in. Well, guess what? Everything else you have, the cars, the boats, the planes, the brokerage account, the other IRA, the 403, whatever it is, everything else becomes just that, Gary.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Everything else.
Markets are down, you're probably not going to be happy. See you next month. See you in 6 months, Gary, because you have a paycheck.
That's it.
Hopefully one that gets you down to Myrtle Beach. Hopefully North Myrtle. Nothing wrong with South. Nothing wrong with South, but hopefully get you to North. Yeah. But if, maybe it doesn't get you that second trip to Europe, that's what everything else is for.
That's right.
Life becomes so simple.
That's what our red bucket of money is for, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
For the second trip.
That's right.
But it's just, life is so easy. And why does no one focus on the most important thing? And the answer is this: because focusing on guaranteed income is going to require you to make a change that Wall Street and every big box firm in America doesn't want you to make. And you know what that is? You're going to have to carve a little money away from Wall Street to create a guaranteed paycheck for yourself. They don't want you to do that because they stopped collecting the fees. And Gary, if you ask me honestly, if I thought you could stay retired for the next 35 years without doing it and stay my client, I'd rather you leave it in Wall Street too, because I'll get paid more.
That's right.
Yeah. I know the truth. I know how it works out. If you cannot pay your bills monthly without having to go tap into Wall Street, things like sequence of returns, market volatility, and everything else hits your life. And at some point, no matter how much you like Gary or how much you like me, you're going to be forced to leave.
That's it.
And guess what? When you have guaranteed income, you never leave.
You never leave. And here's the second thing, Mark. And I know I know how you do your planning, and I love it. It's unique in how you do it, because you do focus on income. And I think you and I both agree that we focus a lot on healthcare now, because 70% of us are going to need some type of long-term care. And traditional long-term care insurance right now, it's a thing of the past.
Gary, my entire career, I've never sold a traditional long-term care policy because it's an uncontrollable in a financial plan. Many people did. I understand it. Nothing wrong. They did the best they could do. But it becomes an uncontrollable. It's affordable when you buy it. Now you're 85 years old and the price has gotten so high, and now is when you might need it. Yeah. The price has gotten so high, you're forced to make a bad decision.
But again, the big brokerage firms don't talk to their folks about that. I mean, you got to talk about income planning. You got to talk about, oh my God, if you get sick, what are we going to do?
Right.
You got to talk about legacy planning. And that's what makes your plan design and how you work with your clients so unique to me, is you really focus on the clients and what their needs are. Because if you solve those needs, then they're going to be your client for life. Don't you agree?
Correct. No question about it. That's what I want. That's why we're choosy with who we pick. That's why you're choosy, because when you take a client on, I know you. We've talked about it many times at a pool and other places. You are taking them on, agreeing to represent them, to advise them, and to work with them for the rest of their lives.
Period.
Well, first off, you don't want to take somebody on. Look, when two people in business always agree, one of them is not necessary. Yeah. I don't have to always agree with my clients. Right. But I do kind of want to like them.
Yeah. You want them to be your friend.
What's wrong with that? What is wrong with telling the truth? I do kind of, if I'm going to work with them for the next 25 years, I'd like to enjoy their company.
Exactly.
Right? I'd like to be able to have them over to the house for dinner if I did, right? And so the reality is this: there's so much more to retirement than finance. And yet all the big box companies, it sounds like I'm bashing them. I'm not bashing them at all. They exist. They exist for a reason. They're really good at one thing. Hopefully, really good at growing your money. But you need more than that. When you're 35, that's exactly who you need.
That's right.
When you're 45, you're starting to think differently. When you're 50, it is time to think different. When you're 65, you should have already thought different. It's not too late, but you got to go. And again, Gary, when the question that people, they don't know what they don't know. It's that Six Sigma thing. You only know what you know.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the reason most people don't have, why do we see some of the biggest superstars in the world die without an estate?
It blows me away.
It's crazy, right?
Blows me away.
It's crazy. But yet you see people every day that don't have one.
Yeah.
But I understand why. I understand why no one's done Roth conversions. Because the person they're working with won't do them, can't do them, is not allowed to do them. So now they're going to go find somebody else. Okay, now we're going to go find somebody to help us with an estate plan. Oh, yeah, now I'm going to get 65 soon. Hope sooner than I want. Anyway, we have to go find something called, what is that insurance we got to go find?
That big word,
Medicare. Medicare, yeah. And so I've seen it. My clients have told me, I'm not there yet, but they tell me the mailbox fills up with stuff. You have no idea what you need. You're a specialist in it, but you have no idea what you need. Who's going to help you with it? Who can you trust? Okay, now we also want to get a trust. We also want to get this. We also want to do advanced tax planning. Now we got to talk about long-term care, but I don't want, what kind of policy I get? Can I afford the thing? You know why they don't have it? Because I know I'm busy, and when I'm not working, look, they say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I want to know who said that, because they lied. They lied. I know. I don't think you'll find anybody that likes what they do more than Gary and I. But I got to tell you something. I know the difference in working and not working.
That's right, brother.
Correct? So when you're off work, the last thing I want to do is spend my Friday afternoon, my Thursday afternoon, my Saturday morning shopping for somebody to give me Medicare insurance, somebody to build me a will, somebody to talk about tax planning. And that's why they have none of it.
That's right.
And that's why you're winning and opening more offices day and day and day. And you see banks and other people closing offices day and day and day. Right. And the difference is clear, because when they come see Garry Thurman, when they come to your office, you can not only help them with money, which is certainly a piece of retirement, but all the other stuff you're going to help them with, just like we do at Alloy Wealth. And that in itself is the clear difference.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing to me, the tools that we have that others don't have. Right. And the people around us that can educate us about these tools, these vehicles, and then we can take it to our clients and educate them about it. And they're always so happy. Yeah. They're like, wow, I didn't know we could do something like this. And I think that's our why. Mark, that's why we get up every day. That's why we don't, oh my gosh, I got to go to work today. No. I want to I'm in here early. You can ask my staff.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm with you last night. I didn't get home past 10 o'clock last night, but I was in this office before 7 o'clock this morning because it's my why.
Yeah.
I feel like God put me here to do what we're doing.
I agree, 100%.
Period.
And just like when you talked about that long-term care thing, and I want to just braid it up, you're the one that actually turned me on to a product that I didn't even know existed. Right. And I'm supposed to be on top of everything. Well, how can you be on top of everything? You can't. And again, I had someone tell me this before I mentioned that thing, because it's amazing. I've done so much with that, because it's an amazing tool. And I want to just share a little of my knowledge on it, which is nothing like yours. But I want you to know that because of you, I'm using it. But I want you to think of this when I think about this idea on this. It's this idea that I don't want to ever need long-term care. Mm-hmm. If you want to know about my long-term care plan, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But the reality is the fact that you turned me on to something that would allow me, if I do need extra help, my wife might say I need it now. Activities of daily living. I think it's cooking and cleaning might be in those activities of daily living anyway. So, but the reality is you turned me on to something, Gary, that I could stay in my castle and receive benefits.
That's right, brother.
For a lot of people, I don't want to ever leave. Listen, if you want to know if I ever had to go, come out there to that house in Locust on 24 acres. Open them front doors. There's hardwoods. You see nail marks going from the middle of that foyer out the door, you know they got me, because that's the only way I'm going. You're dragging me out, right? But you turned me on to something that people are able to take money out of their CD or savings account or whatever. Not the emergency fund. You still got to have that.
Yeah, you got to have it.
But they're able to get CD-like rates. In fact, they were actually better than CDs. Better. Park their money. If they don't use it, it's growing like a CD and the kids get it. If they decide they want it back, they can have it.
Yep.
And if they actually do need long-term care, it provides long-term care in their home, and it provides long-term care somewhere else. And it really, like, for what I did recently, it tripled the amount of money the client put in and paid it back to them, and they were just blown away.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it to me, Gary, was they didn't buy anything.
No.
They really did. What they did is they had money in their left pocket.
Yeah.
Sitting in a CD. They took it out. Now they cashed the CD, and you say, "Oh God, they had a penalty. They had a penalty." What kind of penalty they have? This didn't get all the darn rate. The 3.75 or whatever was paying. Right. They didn't get all of it. Okay, so whatever. They didn't lose money. It was a darn CD. Yeah. So they took this money out of the left pocket. They moved it to the right pocket. They just covered themselves for long-term care for the husband and wife, and they're making a better rate on the money if they don't use it.
It's pretty much a no-brainer.
I went crazy. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
And the underwriting's so easy.
Gary, they answered about 10 questions or something. I don't know. Yeah. And to my knowledge, as of yet, and this was a few weeks ago, but maybe you're up on it more than I am, but we did that one, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. They didn't even make them go get a physical exam.
No.
That's still how it is.
93% of our clients are getting the triple coverage.
Yeah, that's what
the other 7 are getting the double coverage. So it's still incredible.
Yeah, that's
incredible. I love it. Mark, this is an interesting question. I know your passion, and I feed off of it every single day. I keep up with you on your Facebook and everything you got going on. But if you were not a financial advisor, what would Mark Henry be?
Boy, that's a crazy question. I talk to retirees about, I'm going to answer you, but I talk to retirees about this every day, because one of the things that you talk to them about and I talk to them about is what retirement's going to look like financially and other ways. But many people define themselves by their job. And unfortunately, when they choose to retire and they lose those letters behind their name, or I was the plant manager, I was the mill, they're lost.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you were going to ask me that, but it's something I've really been addressing myself, because I don't know that I will personally ever retire, but I do also see myself stepping away more in 5 years so Terry and I can do more. God's blessed us so much that I want to do more. And I'm not sure even what do more is. Maybe I want to go teach in college. Maybe I want to do more giving back. Maybe I want to do more with my church, Freedom House.
Love it.
But I want to do something. So this idea of what would I be if I wasn't a financial advisor? Well, I was an auto dealer at one point in my life, but I certainly wouldn't be that. That wasn't my passion. This is my passion. God had a different plan for me. But if I wasn't at this point in my life today, if I was not this, I would probably want to take on a bigger role in my youngest son's Seth's racing career by being the team manager.
Yeah. By
managing the IMSA team and coordinating. And I'm not a race car guy. I don't know how to be a technician. That's not my skill set. I could learn it. I think we could do anything we want. Gary, I know of a lady literally, and it was in a good news story that I talked about the other day, but one of my clients actually knew this lady. She went back to college at 86, got her 4-year degree at 90 years old. Wow. You can do anything you want in this world. So I could become a tech. That's not what I would want to do. But I would want to maybe be a team manager of a race team.
I love it. And I love the success your son is having there. Cool. One of the things you guys can go is follow Mark on social media. He's got his Living Large social media, YouTube channels. One's all about work. One's all about life. One's all about living large. I I know one of your passions is cars, Mark. I mean, you've got some amazing vehicles. I know that's a passion for yours.
It is, Gary, but I got to tell you, and again, some people know this, you don't yet, but I have, for this year, every year, I've done this for several years. I start the year with a word. And then I try to hold that word all year.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
So this year, the word for me was less.
Less.
Now, less meant a lot of things to me, Gary. Less meant less time on the phone after work hours.
Yeah.
And learning to turn it off.
Yeah.
Learning to put it up. Less meant more conversation with Terry, my wife, where she heard me and I actually heard her. Yeah. The women watching right now go, boy, I would love that. Well, guess what? My wife wanted that.
Yeah.
And so less meant several things to me. It didn't mean less work. It didn't mean less hours in the gym, because I hate the gym. I'm never going to like the gym, but I'm going to do the gym for the rest of my life. That's right. Because I choose to. So it didn't mean those things. And when I said it, it didn't mean the car collection was going to get trimmed when I started the year with it. However, I have grown and been studying on being a minimalist. And this year I have sold my lake home, which I loved, but I didn't use enough.
Right.
I have cleaned out my closet twice so far and taken it to Christian Ministries. And I'm ready to really go. I've got a beautiful home, beautiful closet. I'm ready to go to where I can walk in it and see 4 or 5 pairs of jeans, maybe 8 or 9 work shirts, and some casual shirts on a hanger. And then when I go shop and I buy a new pair of jeans, I want to take a pair off the hanger and give them away.
That's what we do. Yeah.
So I have done that now with my cars. I love them. They collect. They appreciate. I love making money. It's fabulous. I'm done. Yeah. I have sold off this year many, many, many of them. And I'm going to get to a place with both cars and motorcycles where I have one that I like to ride, one that's maybe a display or something I'm just too passionate about to sell, motorcycle-wise, and that's it.
Yeah.
Cars are going to be the same way. I have a daily. You got to have a truck. I live in the South. It's just, I think it's just like your man card. You give up your truck. I'm just saying, I was born that way. My grandfather would be rolled over his grave if I sold the truck. So I'll keep my 4-wheel drive. And then I'm going to keep one really, really cool car to maybe still go to a car show with or something. Yeah. And that's it. And when I want another one, I'll buy it after I sell the one I have.
That's right.
I may end up selling the home in Locust. And it's a big house, and Terry and I really don't need it anymore. I don't know where this lifestyle is going to take me, but I am really embracing it.
Like I love that you just said that. I didn't have that word, but like last year, 2024, I mean, Ron and I really focused on, okay, here's where we're at debt-wise.
Yeah.
Let's get out of debt.
Yeah, 100%.
That was my main goal last year, to not wake up and go, oh, I got a car payment today.
Yep.
But this is the same kind of stuff I try to teach my clients as well, because walking into retirement with a mortgage, I mean, it's okay.
Well, let's talk about that, because, as I'm a Dave Ramsey, whatever they call us this week, pro elite this or whatever it is. Okay? Yeah. Our firm is, but whatever. But the idea is that you have to pay off your house before retirement. I'm not retiring, but I'm struggling with this idea, because in this mentality I'm in today, I really think I'm going to go ahead and pay my house off. Yeah. However, the rate I felt like was high when I took it out, because it was a jumbo mortgage.
Right.
And so I was like, man, I'm going to get this. This is terrible. Well, now that rate is 4.75.
It's pretty darn good.
It's not the 2s that some people have, the 3s, but it's pretty darn good. And I know I can make more than that.
Yeah.
But I still may just go ahead and do it, because I've had a paid for house before, but it didn't last long. And I just think it might be cool to say that I am 100% debt-free.
You know what?
And so I'm really thinking I might do it.
Yeah, well, and I support it. And you're just like me, where, got rid of that debt. Then what did I do? I take that same money, I put it back into my business.
Yeah.
Because I want
we do
more people.
That's right.
So Mark, let's talk about Alloy Wealth Management for a few minutes. First of all, if you're watching, It's alloywealth.com, alloywealth.com. One thing I love about Mark's website, and I have this as well, is our calculators. We have a tax calculator,
Yep.
a risk calculator,
Yep.
retirement readiness calculator, a legacy calculator. All that is on our website.
It is.
It's absolutely free. You might go do those quizzes, and it's a reality check. And I think you'll get a benefit from that. But again, it's Alloy, ALLOW, wealth.com. Go check him out. They are in Greenville, South Carolina. They're in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're in Mint Hill, North Carolina. They got
Huntersville,
Facebook, Instagram. You got another location?
Huntersville.
Huntersville. I didn't have that on.
Yeah, that's Lake Norman. So we're Ballantine, Mint Hill, Lake Norman, and Greenville, adding on more locations soon. Next one coming up is this year in the Fort Mill, Rock Hill area of South Carolina.
Beautiful.
So continuing the expansion. Yeah. And when you think about the word alloy, ALLOY, what an alloy is a metal. But it's when you take several metals, this is this nerd in me, and you combine them together to make them stronger than they were separately.
Love it.
Well, that's exactly what Gary and I do in financial planning. We're going to take several things to combine them together to make them stronger in financial planning than they would be if we only had one of them.
That's right.
And that's the thing. And then if you look at the logo, that's actually the periodic table.
Yeah.
And so the AW with the periodic table comes in there. So it was designed around behind that, just like there was with your name.
Yeah.
Guarding your finance. I get it. I understand it. It makes sense to me. But in that, in the financial planning, we focus just like you do, heavy on the planning side because nobody has one.
That's right.
And it just answers the questions. To me, it's this idea of, I just don't like that word fine. We laughed about it earlier, but I don't like it. You have clients that call you all the time and they'll say, Gary, I'm thinking about buying a house over there near Dolly's place. Yeah. And it's in the mountains and I found it and it's beautiful. Can we afford it? And when you call your typical advisor, they'll look at it and say, oh, yeah, I think you'll be fine. How are you going to pay for it? Don't take it out of this account, but whatever, But that's not what Gary does. It's not what I do. We use our planning software to create the what-if scenario. So you can say, well, hey, let's come in and talk about it. How much is this place going to cost you? Yeah. Okay, well, let's look at paying cash. Let's look at financing. Let's look at mortgages. Oh, I don't want a mortgage. Well, let's look at it. And we could why not? And we'll run different scenarios. Well, it's really cool. If you currently have a financial plan that has an 89% probability of success, and buying this beautiful place next to Dolly Parton's place takes that from 89 to 85%, why wouldn't you buy it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. But guess what? If it takes it from 89 to 64, I don't want to speak for Gary, but I know what he's going to tell you. Hey, I think you need to be renting that place. Well, let's work out a plan where you can rent it 3 or 4 weeks a year.
That's right.
Because I'm not going to help you have a train wreck.
Yeah.
But what you're not going to hear from Alloy Wealth, from Garry Thurman, is you're going to be fine.
Yeah. No, you got to have a plan around everything you do in life, Mark. I mean, and you and I both are on this health kick right now. We are. We've got our reasons. We don't have to get into that. We're on our health kick, and you inspire me. You inspire me as an advisor. You inspire me on the health side.
Appreciate
that. You inspire me as a man. Like, I was even telling Tristan today, one of the things I love about Mark Henry is every time I see him, I'm like, Mark, what's going on, buddy? You're like, buddy, I'm alive and I'm thankful. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. And you get up every day with your passion and you do what you do. And I applaud you for that. You're doing an amazing job. But if you're out there in the Carolinas and you want to work with someone like Mark Henry and his staff is awesome. I've got to know every single one of them. They're amazing. But I would encourage you to go to Alloy, ALLOW, wealth.com. Go check out those calculators. I think you're going to be really inspired once you go through those. You can call them at 800-689-3935. Now, if you're in the Tennessee Valley, Chattanooga, Knoxville, go to GIAplantoday.com. GIAplantoday.com. That's going to show you the same calculators that Mark has.
That's right.
We love to work. As you can tell, we're passionate about what we do. Here's what's neat about us as well, then we'll close. If I have a client and I'm just stuck, like I'm just kind of stuck on what to do, I can pick up the phone and call Mark Henry.
That's right.
Or
And I do the same.
phone and call me.
We do it. We do it.
It's beautiful.
And you know, Gary, I wish there was more, but it's a very finite and small circle around the country of people that I would recommend
Right.
and put my stamp on. Because when I recommend Garry Thurman to someone in the Chattanooga area, I'm blessing it with my reputation.
That's right.
And that's important to me. It's important to you. And I would absolutely put my stamp of approval because you're going to do it the way I do it.
Right, well, we're going to do it the same way, which is
the same thing. It's the same thing. You know, man, that's what's beautiful. I appreciate it, man. This was fabulous. I appreciate you having me on. And you know, I just like to say, you know, as you think about this journey that you're on as you're watching this right now, I would like to encourage you to use this word you can, because if there's ever an example of it in the world, what God has allowed me to do in my life, what he's allowed Garry to do, you can do as well. Not necessarily financial services. That's not what I'm talking about. You can live large, but it takes a plan. Many times people find themselves in life in a place they didn't plan to be. The question I would ask you is, well, show me the plan you had to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Start today by getting started on a confident financial future by calling Garry, call Alloy, and get a plan to put yourself in a different place.
That's it, brother. That's it. That's all.
Thanks, Garry.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you very much. It was fabulous. Take care.
Take care. Thanks for watching Money Across America with Garry Thurman. We'll see you guys next week with another amazing advisor. God bless.